And now, live from the studios of WHUC, this is Real Talk, where we get you something to talk about.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining another edition of Real Talk. I'm your host, Devin Anderson, and I'm with the new athletic director, Nathan Weremeyer. Everyone give him a hand. Now, Mr. Weremeyer, I understand originally you're from Missouri and developed an impressive resume being the assistant director, athletic director at Dodge City Community College from Dodge, Kansas. What is something you hope to implement here at Hinds as you implement it there?
Well, a lot of the stuff we did at Dodge City and at the school I was at in Mineral Area in Missouri was student-centered and student-focused. So I'm a former student athlete myself, so I played college football, and I really want to bring that aspect of me knowing how to play sports and be around sports, kind of that aspect of, going to practices, going to games, and letting all the student athletes know that, I'm around for them to talk to and someone they can reach out to if they need me.
Well, that's great because, as you can see that we're currently in a pandemic, so we kind of need that spirit to come back in terms of sports and stuff like that. I really love that, actually. I understand you only been in this position for a couple months. How has the transition to this new position and state been for you?
It's been really fun, actually. I'm a guy that enjoys a challenge, so this has been a big challenge for me to go from being an assistant athletic director to the guy in the chair now. So I've been fortunate to have a lot of good supervisors and bosses that have brought me to where I am now. I grew up in mid-Missouri, so I'm used to the humidity. It's not a big deal for me. So coming from Kansas, where it's dry and windy, it's a little different to be hot and sticky all the time with no wind. So it's been a change for me and my family, but we're really enjoying it. Being a part of the Raymond community and having my boys come and see me in the office, multiple times a week.
That's great. Now that you're in Mississippi, what is the main thing you want the students, faculty, and fans to know personally about you?
That I care. Like I said earlier, that I'm a former student athlete, and I know what these young men and women are going through when they are taking college classes and they're participating in sports. I've been there, so I know what's going on. So I just want people to know that I care about what they're going through, that they have a person that can understand what they can come to for things. So just basically that I care about what's going on, not only on the field, but in their academic life, in their personal lives. If they need help with something, I want to have an open door policy where people can come in and ask me questions if they need to. It's not like, I'm the director that's off limits and you got to go through a person and get to me. I want to be accessible to people that they can ask questions to. And, I kind of have a face that may be intimidating at times, but I'm a real personable guy that likes to meet people and talk to people. So it's really easy for me to get along with a good majority of people.
I think that's great. I mean, seeing you just got this position, not a lot of people really know that you actually are the new athletic director.
Yeah.
So you saying that is really wonderful because now students will actually have a face going on with the position. And not only that, they'll have more of probably a family relationship with you. And I think that's very beneficial for Hinds.
Yeah.
Seeing that you actually came all the way from Kansas, you're not in Kansas anymore. It's a completely different environment.
It is.
Tell me, what about Hinds really caught your eye and made you come all the way down here?
The family atmosphere. When I came to visit, in May of this past year, and I noticed a continuing theme that everybody I ran into that worked here either went to school here or they left and came back and they now work here and they're going to retire here. So there's a lot of former students that I work with. There's a lot of former students that left and came back. So it's everybody spoke nothing but nice things about Hinds and the people that work here. And over the course of my first 3 months, it's just been exactly what people have said, that it's been a real family atmosphere, and that's what drew me and my family here.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. As us being the hospitality state, that really makes me feel proud to be a Mississippian as far as how you came here and you feel very comfortable. But I really hate to put a pin in this conversation. We're going to come back and have a short break here. When we come back, we're going to discuss the new and next chapter here at Hinds Athletics.
Real Talk will be right back after this. When stories hit home, you can trust the WHUC News 17 to give you the information you need.
Here's the photos, Thursday, August 19th.
If it's Hines Community College news around the campuses,
And this is only the beginning. We have a full week of activity.
weather,
And now in Crystal Springs, but as you can see,
sports,
Hines is ready to get back to usual by starting the semester off with sports.
and more. We are WHUC News 7, Hines' only college news station that cares. And now, Real Talk continues.
Welcome back to Real Talk, and you just now tuned in. I'm here with the new athletic director, Nathan Wehrmeyer. Now, I understand you're here to lead Hines Athletics into a new chapter. Can you give the audience insight on plans you have for here in the future?
No, they're all secret.
They're all secret?
I'm just kidding.
Scared.
There's been a great foundation laid from Dr. Muse and Gene Murphy as the previous athletic director and president. So Hines Community College has a real good foundation for success. So I want to use that as an opportunity to take us to a new standard. There's been a lot of talk about the standard that Hines has set, not just in athletics, but in academics and in the community. So I want to take that standard and raise it just a little bit. Not just a little bit, I want to go all the way with raising the standard that Hines has set. So there's a lot of projects that I want to tackle. Some of them are facility related. Some of them are student development related, like student handbooks and rewriting some of the policies that go along with athletics. But most of all, I think what we need to tackle right now is taking care of some facilities, some upgrading, some getting things to where they should be, to where they were in the past, where they should be now in the future, and then going forward.
Yeah, I really like the answer. It seems like you're a pretty ambitious guy, and I feel like over the course of the next few years, I think you will have a very big impact on athletics in general, because
Thanks.
That's something that people, not only in Mississippi but in the South, they really enjoy sports.
They do.
This is our life. This is our part of our culture. So having someone ambitious like you trying to make such a big difference here at Hines,
Yeah.
I think that would be very inspiring for anyone in other schools here in Mississippi.
Well, it takes someone that's ambitious and has a good vision for the future, and someone that can communicate that vision effectively about where we want to go. So if I can get people excited about where I want to take Hines Athletics, it'll get other people excited.
Well, you have me excited.
There you go.
Just so that you
Don't
already
jump
got
out of your
one,
seat
so-
just yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump out next when the cameras are off. But what would you consider your main focus? Would you say fundraising, recruiting, advertising, really getting our name out there? What would you say is really having your attention right now, laser focused?
Probably fundraising. We've got to do a better job of raising some funds to help us with those facility improvements right now. Hines has its name out there. Hines is very recognized across the state of Mississippi and across the nation for that part. So we have the name recognition. We've just got to follow it up with being able to keep the students and student athletes from our district from going anywhere else. And how we do that is through upgrading some of our facilities. That way students from our local high schools aren't enticed to go somewhere else. They want to come to Hines because we have the top-notch recruitable facilities that kids want.
Yeah, I like that a lot. My dad actually was going to go to Hines if he didn't make a big enough ACT score. But he wanted to go Ole Miss. But
That's not
he
bad.
told me that Hines really recruits basically all the good players, like my dad, that don't want to go to the 4-year just yet. I think that you saying that you want to keep them here to really
Yeah.
produce not only a good football team, but basketball, tennis, track and field. That's going to be amazing, and I really would enjoy going to the new games if you can pull it off. Because
Yeah, we will.
a
There's been a lot of students and student athletes that we've lost to competing community colleges in our surrounding local area, just because they didn't, they come from a high school where they have certain facilities, and then you come visit Hines and the facility is not as good as what they had in high school. That's a big factor in student athletes choosing not to come to Hines, and that's something I want to work to change.
So you're going to improve the facilities. That's wonderful. Speaking of facilities, this just popped in my head right now. You know, we have a swimming pool in Raymond, you know, that hasn't been used. That's a
Yeah.
facility you feel like using again?
In some way, yes.
Okay.
It may not be a pool, may not have water in it, but that is one of the things that I want to tackle first is having an area that all students can use that's indoors, because you know as well as anybody the mid-afternoon thunder showers that come through on a daily basis. It'll push our student athletes off the field, and then they have nowhere to practice. The gym that's used currently in Mayo Fieldhouse is used for the wellness center. So in the afternoon, if you're not a member of the wellness center, you can't go in that gym. So what I want to do is fill in that pool and put artificial turf down, and then have a indoor practice facility that every sport can use, and then student groups can also use 24 hours a day.
That's very efficient. You're not knocking just 2 PERDs. You're knocking like
Right.
15, really the whole school.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what I want to do is not just focused on just athletics, but what can we do to make the overall student experience better at Hinds Community College. So things like if we turf a football field, it's not just for football, that's for everybody, because the band can use that, student groups can use it. If we get a new video board on the football field, it's not just for football. You could have movie nights for the student government. You can have, host graduations for local high schools, things like that. So it's a lot of times people think that what my job is to do things only for the athletic department, but my focus is what can we do to make the college better as a whole.
Well, I think that answer exceeded my expectation. I didn't expect such a great idea. I might actually have to go down there and see that in the next few years if you get that implemented.
Hopefully it'll be sooner than a couple years.
I really do hope so too.
Me too.
I do too. But my final question, Hinds has a lot of activities in sports. Would you consider implementing more official competitive ones like a bowling team or a volleyball team? Is this something that the students could get, and if there's anything we can do to help you do that actually?
Yeah, I'm always open to ideas and open to conversations that could lead to whatever is going to be best for the college. There are some schools that add sports just to add sports, and I don't think that's a very smart move. You've got to have a good system in place to make sure that sport is successful. So if we add volleyball, if we add bowling, we have esports, we have a bass fishing club. There's a lot of sports that are becoming sanctioned by the NJCAA, so we could take a look at those. There's women's flag football, beach volleyball, things like that. We have great weather for a beach volleyball team. If it's in the cards, if it's something that would work good for Hinds Community College as a whole, I'm absolutely open to talking about it.
That's wonderful. I think that would be something that a lot of students will look forward to as far as getting something new on campus, especially if it's more something that they want to do.
Yeah.
I think that's really great.
And that's what we're here to do, is to do things and find things for our students and our student athletes that they want. That's why we have an esports team now, because young students like to play video games. I don't personally play video games, but I know that's important to students, so I think it's important to do what they want.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate the answer. And as you can see, folks, we have a lot of big plans here for Hinds. I do believe that this athletic director is nothing more than just amazing, honestly. The plans he said so far has me speechless. And I'm not gonna hold you accountable for some things you said in this video. But
Well, you can. That's what keeps me working.
that's as much time as we have today, guys. Make sure you like our Facebook, YouTube, and make sure you like and comment on this video to see anybody else you want to see on World